Live from WTVO 17 and your home team. Eyewitness News at 5 starts now.
An accused gunman's arrested days after Rockford investigators say he put someone in the hospital. We sum up the brief police chase.
We are constantly looking to leverage the resources that we have to attract additional private investment.
Rockford City Hall is in the middle of a never-ending fight against blight. One recent tactic means demolishing a building to maximize space and revitalize areas frequently overlooked.
A Beloit man's mail is found shredded on his street. The backup method he's glad he used to avoid consequences after being targeted. Good evening, I'm Mimi Murphy.
And I'm Eric Wilson. Rockford City leaders shut down a local homeless encampment.
For years, those without a place to stay have set up near Railroad Avenue. Rockford City employees who work with the homeless gave campers 2 weeks' notice to move out. Individuals were also matched with resources to find housing. The city says the camp was closed for safety purposes. The city said in a press release, quote, neighbors were concerned about the situation and police and fire calls were increasing. Closing the camp was the best option to keep people safe. First responders are called to an afternoon crash in Rockford. This happened before 1:30 today near the intersection of Whitman and North Church Streets downtown. Investigators say one suspect ran away from the scene. Witnesses told officers a gunshot rang out near the crash site. No one was hurt. Rockford police are investigating the incident.
A Rockford man accused of shooting a man last week is behind bars after leading police on a chase. Investigators say officers spotted 20-year-old Bennett Stewart driving near Garfield Avenue last night. They pulled Stewart over. He then ran off. Police eventually arrested him. According to investigators, last Wednesday, Stewart shot a 45-year-old man on Forest View Road. Stewart is charged with resisting arrest, attempted murder, and aggravated battery with a firearm. Friends of the 4-year-old Rockford boy killed in a hit-and-run crash last week raised money for the child's family. A GoFundMe page set up for Darnell Brown Jr., or DJ, says the boy will be remembered as energetic, smart, and advanced. Last Thursday night, Rockford police were called to a crash on North Central Avenue near School Street. Officers found the boy and a 10-year-old girl hurt. The driver responsible was nowhere to be found. Not long after, police spotted 30-year-old Javon Cooper in a car. They tried to pull him over. Officers say he ran. They caught him and say he admitted to the crime. The kids went to the hospital in critical condition. DJ passed away the next day. No word on how the girl is doing. Find a link to the fundraiser on mystateline.com.
A State Line man is found guilty of sexually assaulting a child over the course of several months. Police say Joshua Henson abused a child younger than 13 years old for months in Loves Park and Rockford. He was charged in 2018 and is set to be sentenced in September. If convicted, Henson faces up to 60 years behind bars.
Rockford area developers set their sights on the South Main corridor.
It's all part of a renewed mission to fight blight. Michelle Rave joins us in the studio with more on plans to spruce up the Forest City. Michelle?
The city of Rockford says they are prioritizing the South Main corridor, improving the area by removing blight.
And then this building, you know, I'm sure that it had great history and everything to it, but it's just an eyesore, right? It needs to go.
This building on South Main Street will soon be demolished. It's all part of the city of Rockford's plan to improve the South Main corridor. Brian Kershke, a member of the Broadway Business District Association, says it's a step in the right direction.
The South Main corridor is like, to me, it's the best way to get to downtown Rockford. Number one, it looks beautiful. Number two, it's quick. You can get there pretty easily.
Peter Riggs has been the owner of the building set to be demolished. He had plans to make it a coffee shop, but a fire broke out in the building next door in 2019, which ruined those plans.
The city's been trying to figure out what to do on how to remediate the land, and I believe that they told me that the EPA and the Corps of Engineers needed my property in order to do a remedy on the entire site here.
Carl Franzen, Director of Community and Economic Development for the City of Rockford, says it's a necessary step to move blight out of the area and eventually turning it into an open green space.
We actually need to restabilize the bank because it's right on the creek. And in order to restabilize it properly and for the most efficient cost, we need to demolish 810 South Main.
But some residents say they don't want to see the building demolished.
It's just sad that there's a lot of potential in this area with these buildings that you just can't make anymore. Especially there, it's a landmark. These buildings have been here the beginning of Rockford. That's why the area is called Founders Landing.
While others say it's a step in making Rockford a better place.
So to me, that's the goal, right? Is to make the city a comfortable, good place for my children to want to stay if they so be it, if they choose, right?
There is no set date for completion of this project, but Franzen says he hopes they will finish by the end of the year. Mimi?
All right, thanks, Michelle. Today marks the 31st anniversary of the Americans with Disabilities Act, also known as the ADA. President Joe Biden signed a proclamation this morning recognizing the anniversary. As a senator, Biden was a co-sponsor of the Democratic legislation, which was signed into law by Republican President George H.W. Bush. The ADA prohibits discrimination against individuals with disabilities.
For more than 60 million Americans living with disabilities, the ADA is so much more than a law. It's a source of opportunity, participation, independent living, and respect and dignity. And for our nation, the ADA is more than a law as well. It's testament to our character as a people, our character as Americans. It's a triumph of American values.
Today, the Biden administration also released new guidance explaining that in some cases, long COVID can be considered a disability. It's another deadline missed for lawmakers on Capitol Hill. After initially promising a deal on their massive $1.2 trillion bipartisan infrastructure plan by today, negotiations have yet again stalled.
DC's Raquel Martin reports on whether a deal is still in sight as she keeps you connected to the nation's capital.
Lawmakers on both sides of the aisle who've been negotiating the terms of this deal for weeks say yes. Senator Rob Portman said 90% of the deal was done, but things did hit a wall today when lawmakers clashed over the final details. A highly anticipated bipartisan infrastructure deal hit another roadblock on Capitol Hill Monday after Republicans and Democrats promised a deal on Sunday.
We have one issue outstanding, and I think you're going to see a bill Monday afternoon.
Talk stalled again when Republicans rejected the White House and Democrats' latest offer. The two sides still disagree on how much money should go to public transit or how to fund several items like broadband or water projects.
We remain confident.
At Monday's White House briefing, Press Secretary Jen Psaki said the White House remains in close touch with Republicans and Democrats negotiating the final terms.
This is to be expected. We always know that there is some wrangling at the end of a process.
It's time for everyone to get to yes.
Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer says he wants the deal passed before lawmakers leave for an August recess.
Senators should be on notice that the Senate may stay in session through the weekend in order to finish the bill.
Now, of course, this is a bipartisan compromise deal on traditional infrastructure. Democrats are also pushing a multi-trillion-dollar families plan. Senator Chuck Schumer says he also wants to see that deal passed by August recess. For now in Washington, Raquel Martin, back to you.
Now, your first warned weather forecast with Chief Meteorologist Candace King.
Plenty of sunshine out there for us this afternoon. A live look with the Mercy House SkyTrack camera out in Rochelle. Sunny skies today allow those temperatures to warm quickly from the low 60s we were at here this morning into the upper 80s and low 90s. It's been hot, but it hasn't been overly humid. We're at 91 in Rockford, 86 currently in Rochelle, Dixon, 85 in Freeport, and 89 our current temperature in Monroe. Our weather watchers this evening checking in. Ken in Belvedere, 89 degrees. Dew Point sitting at 61. Ben in South Beloit at 91. And Bob here on the southeast end of Rockford sitting at 93 degrees. No rain today, and these next couple of days going to stay quiet. We've got the heat, not necessarily the humidity. Dew Point temperatures mixing down in some spots into the 50s. So that's why that heat index number actually a little lower than the actual air temperature. But things are going to change in a big way beginning tomorrow. And you'll really feel it for Wednesday as we pull in that southerly wind. High pressure overhead keeping us nice and quiet. Showers, thunderstorms quickly developing there just to the north and northeast of Green Bay. This is going to be the focus point for thunderstorms to develop later on tonight as we head through the overnight and into very early tomorrow. As we're on kind of the outer edge of that ridge, that severe risk these next couple of days staying a little more focused to the north. So tonight we've got those thunderstorms moving from Minnesota to Wisconsin. Tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening, focused a little more over south central, southeast Minnesota. Wednesday, as a cold front comes closer, we could see a few gustier thunderstorms, especially later in the day on Wednesday across southern Wisconsin and maybe getting in close to far northern Illinois. But we've got this lid or a cap on our atmosphere, so that really keeps a lot of those storms that form to the north. As they move south, they kind of weaken a bit, and you can see that here on Futurecast. This is early tomorrow, just a little after sunrise. You've got a storm complex that'll be developing to our north later tonight that will work south, so we will likely see more cloud cover tomorrow morning, but these thunderstorms should be weakening as they move a bit further into southern Wisconsin. There might be a sprinkle or a light shower north of the border during the early morning hours, along with that cloud cover. But by the afternoon, as we build back up the heat, things are expected to stay mostly dry and hot for Tuesday. Temperatures will be back into the low 90s. We got to do the same thing over again Tuesday night and then Wednesday. We've got another storm complex that'll develop up to the northwest. Wednesday morning, some of those thunderstorms could move a little closer to us and then kind of drying out for Wednesday afternoon. Again, we've got that lid on the atmosphere, but as that cold front comes closer to us Wednesday night and Thursday, that would be our better chance to get some showers and thunderstorms that would last through the first half of Thursday. Now, I mentioned the humidity going up along with those dew point temperatures in the low to mid 60s heading into the afternoon tomorrow. That'll push that heat index tomorrow in the low to mid 90s. On Wednesday, the heat index could get up close to 100 degrees. And you see that here for Tuesday afternoon, low to mid 90s. As we pull in a little bit more moisture on Wednesday, that heat index into the upper 90s to near 100 degrees. So it is going to feel a lot more muggy here in a big hurry. But behind that cold front, temperatures will drop, guys, just a little bit here by the end of the week. You'll feel the difference, though, in the humidity. Will dry out Thursday night, Friday, slight chance for some thunderstorms on Saturday, and then Sunday, Monday, as high pressure moves in, things will stay fairly quiet.
Now, the Napleton Sports Desk with Sports Director Scott Lepper.
The mystery over whether or not Aaron Rodgers will report to the Packers for training camp this week should end very soon. There are some reports that Rodgers does plan to show up at some point this week. He and the Packers might be working on an agreement that would have him play this season in Green Bay, and then the Packers would allow him to move on next year, most likely by a trade. At the Packers shareholders meeting today, team president Mark Murphy said the Packers are hopeful Rodgers will play for them this year. GM Brian Gutekunst is also optimistic that will happen. Players are scheduled to report to Green Bay tomorrow. Their first practice will be Wednesday. Anything's possible with Rodgers. I'm not taking any of these reports to the bank until I see Rodgers on the practice field and I hear what he has to say. Well, there are a whole lot of draft picks that Ryan Pace has made for the Bears over the last 7 years that leave me shaking my head. You know most of them. I won't rehash them all. Kevin White, Mitch Trubisky alone will suffice. And Pace looks bad again with his decision to trade receiver Anthony Miller to the Texans for a late-round draft pick. In 2008, Pace not only used a second-round draft pick on Miller, he traded up to pick Miller. Since then, Miller's been a big disappointment. On draft day, Pace said the following of Miller, quote, "He's competitive, tough, has a great work ethic, and goes 100 miles per hour on every single snap." Instead, the opposite was true. At times, Miller looked lost and disinterested with the Bears. The final straw was when Miller got ejected from the Bears playoff game in New Orleans in January for fighting. Put the drafting of Miller into the bust category for Pace. Lastly, the folks in the NFL offices have to be getting antsy over the growing number of NFL players, coaches, and personnel who are testing positive for COVID. Colts head coach Frank Reich is one of the latest, even though he was fully vaccinated. He's now in quarantine. This is why the NFL is getting tough with coaches and players doing all it can trying to get them vaccinated. NFL teams are set to welcome back fans to training camps and to packed stadiums for games. Will the league start to walk those plans back at some point in the coming weeks? Quite possibly. That's my take. We'll be right back.
Our first warning interactive radar brought to us by Rockford Auto Glass and More. Skies will stay dry here as we go through the night tonight. Temperatures will drop back into the mid-60s. Still kind of comfortable out there, but again, the heat returns in full force tomorrow. 93 for the afternoon. Humidity getting up near 100 degrees on Wednesday. Showers on Thursday.
All right, thanks, Candace.
And thank you for spending some time with us. Stay safe.